The massive alien ship moved slowly through space toward the small blue planet. Commander Velton stood on the bridge, looking at the world through the main screen. His purple skin glowed softly in the dim light of the control room. This was going to be another rescue mission, he thought. Another world where people suffered and needed help. "Sir, we are getting closer to the planet they call Earth," said his assistant, a tall creature with 4 arms. "The people there sent us messages." "They seem friendly," Velton nodded. "Good. These poor creatures have been trapped on that terrible world for so long. Look at it, covered in poisonous water, dangerous clouds, and that burning star so close to them. How do they even stay alive?" The ship's computer showed them pictures of Earth. Velton saw huge storms, snow, rain, and lightning. He saw vast oceans that could drown anyone who fell in. He saw deserts where nothing could live and mountains so tall they touched the sky. This planet was clearly one of the worst places in the galaxy. "Send a message to our home world," Velton ordered. "Tell them we found another death world. The people here need our help badly." Far below on Earth, Dr. Kim Tae-ho sat in his office at the Seoul Space Communications Center. He was a scientist who studied life on other planets, even though he had never seen any aliens before. His friend Dr. Park So-jin worked with him. She was smart and always asked good questions. "Tae-ho, come look at this," So-jin called from her. "Computer, we got another message from those aliens. They keep talking about saving us from our prison world." Tae-ho walked over and read the message on her screen. The words were translated by their computer, but they still seemed strange. The aliens talked about Earth like it was a terrible place where people suffered every day. "They want to take us away from Earth," Tae-ho said, reading slowly. "They say they have nice planets where we can live safely. They feel sorry for us." "Because we are trapped here," So-jin looked confused. "Trapped? What do they mean, trapped? I like living here." The message continued. The aliens wrote about Earth's dangerous atmosphere, deadly weather, and harmful radiation from the sun. They promised to build special homes for humans on better planets where they would not have to face such terrible conditions. "Maybe they come from a very different kind of world," Tae-ho said. "Maybe what seems normal to us looks scary to them." "But Earth is beautiful," So-jin replied. "We have forests and oceans and mountains. We have seasons and weather. It's not a prison." Tae-ho nodded, but he was thinking. These aliens seem very worried about humans. They used words like rescue and save and help in every message. They talked about Earth like it was the worst place anyone could live. Back on the alien ship, Commander Velton was reading reports about Earth from his science team. The more he read, the more upset he became. "Sir, this is very bad," said the ship's doctor, a small creature with big eyes. "This planet has deadly gas in the air. The humans breathe something called oxygen. That gas burns through metal and kills most living things." "How terrible," Velton said sadly. "They have to breathe poison just to stay alive." "And look at these temperature readings," added the science officer. "The planet gets so hot that water turns to gas. Then it gets so cold that water becomes solid rocks. The temperature changes happen every day in some places." Velton felt sick thinking about it. These poor humans. They wake up every morning not knowing if they will freeze or burn to death. "There's more, sir," the doctor continued. "Their star shoots deadly radiation at the planet all day long. Most creatures would die in minutes from that much radiation. But somehow the humans live with it." "They must be very strong," Velton said. "Or maybe they have learned to hide underground." The science officer shook his head. "No, sir, our scanners show millions of humans living right on the surface. They build their homes in the open where the radiation hits them directly." Velton could not believe what he was hearing. How could any species survive such terrible conditions? These humans must be the bravest people in the galaxy, or maybe they just did not know that other worlds were safer. "Prepare the rescue ships," he ordered. "We need to help these people as fast as we can." On Earth, Dr. Kim Tae-ho was getting ready to send a reply to the aliens. The government had asked him and So-jin to be the main people who talked to the visitors from space. It was an important job, and Teho wanted to do it right. What should we tell them? Sojin asked. They seem to think we are in danger all the time. Let's explain that Earth is our home, Teho said. Maybe if we tell them about our lives, they will understand that we are happy here. Teho began typing a message. He wrote about cities and farms and schools. He wrote about families and friends and all the things that made life on Earth good. He tried to explain that humans liked their planet and did not want to leave. When the message reached the alien ship, Commander Velton read it with growing sadness. The humans wrote about their daily lives, but Velton could only see suffering in every word. They talk about going outside every day, he told his crew. They don't seem to understand how dangerous that is. They have been living in fear for so long that they think it's normal. And they mentioned something called rain, added the doctor. Water falling from the sky. That sounds like acid attacks from the atmosphere. Look at this part, said the science officer. They write about swimming in large bodies of water. They must be forced to search for food in those poisonous oceans. Velton shook his head sadly. They have learned to survive in conditions that would kill anyone else. But they don't know that life can be better. We must show them what real safety looks like. The alien commander looked at Earth again through the main screen. Somewhere down there, millions of humans were living through another day on their death world. They were breathing poison gas, walking under deadly radiation, and dealing with weather that changed from burning hot to freezing cold. Send a message to the Galactic Council, Velton ordered. Tell them we have found the most dangerous planet anyone has ever seen. And tell them that somehow, impossible as it seems, people are living there. What kind of people could survive such a place? Asked his assistant. Velton thought about it for a long moment. Either the strongest, bravest people in the galaxy, he said slowly, or people who have never known what it feels like to be truly safe. He decided it did not matter which one was true. Either way, these humans needed help, and he was going to give it to them. The alien ship moved closer to Earth, ready to begin the biggest rescue mission in galactic history. Dr. Kim Tae-ho watched the alien ship approach through his telescope. He still did not understand why the aliens thought Earth was so dangerous. To him, it was just home. But he was excited to meet them and learn about their worlds. He had no idea that in the aliens' eyes, he was about to become the first human they had ever met who had survived the impossible. The first meeting between humans and aliens took place in a big room at the United Nations building in New York. Dr. Lee Min-ho was chosen to speak for all humans. He was a smart man who could speak many languages and had worked with people from different countries for many years. Commander Velton came down from his ship with 5 other aliens. They wore special suits to protect them from Earth's atmosphere. The suits covered their whole bodies and had air tanks on the back. When they walked into the meeting room, they moved very carefully, like they were afraid something might hurt. Them, welcome to Earth, Dr. Lee said with a smile. He reached out his hand to shake hands with Commander Velton. The alien commander looked at the hand for a long moment. Then he spoke through a small machine that changed his words into human language. Please do not touch me without protection, Velton said. Your skin might be poisonous, or I might hurt you by accident. I know you have suffered so much on this terrible world. Dr. Lee looked confused. Terrible world? I'm sorry, I don't understand. What do you mean? Velton's purple skin grew darker, which meant he was feeling sad. We have studied your planet from space. We know how hard life must be here. The poisonous air, the burning radiation, the terrible storms, how do you stand it? You mean our atmosphere? Dr. Lee asked. We breathe oxygen. It's not poison to us. It's what keeps us alive. The alien doctor who came with Velton made a soft crying sound. Oxygen is one of the most dangerous gases in the galaxy. It destroys almost everything it touches. On my world, we use it to clean metal by burning away the dirt. But we need it to live, Dr. Lee said, still confused. All animals on Earth breathe oxygen. Another alien, the science officer, stepped forward. Your bodies must create special chemicals to fight the oxygen poison every day. You probably don't even notice the pain anymore because you have lived with it your whole life. Dr. Lee shook his head. No, there's no pain. Breathing feels good. When we run or work hard and breathe faster, it gives us energy. The aliens looked at each other with their big eyes. They seemed very upset. You poor people, Velton said softly. You have learned to think that pain is normal. This is worse than we thought. Captain Zithara, who was in charge of the rescue ships, spoke next. She was taller than the other aliens and had gold markings on her suit. We have brought medicine, she said. We can help your people breathe clean air. We have food that won't hurt your stomachs. We can take everyone to safe planets where you won't have to suffer anymore. We don't want to leave Earth, Dr. Lee said. This is our home. We love living here. The aliens became even more upset when they heard this. Velton turned to his team and spoke in their own language for a few minutes. Dr. Lee could see them pointing at charts and pictures of Earth. Dr. Lee, Velton said finally, we have been studying your planet for many days. Let me show you what we see. The aliens turned on a machine that showed pictures in the air. The first picture was of a big storm with lightning and thunder. This happens on your world, Velton said. Electricity falls from the sky and can kill anyone it touches. On most planets, storms like this would make everyone hide underground for months. Yes, we have thunderstorms, Dr. Lee said, but they're usually not dangerous if you stay inside. Many people think they're beautiful. Beautiful? The alien. Doctor made that crying sound again. You have learned to find beauty in things that try to kill you. This is a sign of very deep emotional damage. And the next picture showed snow and ice. Your planet gets so cold that the poison water in the air becomes solid and falls down like rocks, Velton explained. How do you not freeze to death? We wear warm clothes, Dr. Lee said. And we heat our houses. Some people even enjoy playing. In the snow. Playing? Captain Zithara's voice got very high. You make your children go out into the ice storms for fun? Dr. Lee was starting to understand that these aliens came from a very different kind of world. How cold does it get on your planet? He asked. Our weather is always exactly the same. Temperature, Velton said. Just warm enough to be comfortable, never changing. The idea of temperature that changes by itself is terrifying to most galactic species. The alien science officer showed more pictures. There were deserts, mountains, oceans, and forests. This water covers most of your planet, he said, pointing to an ocean. It's so deep that if someone fell in, they would never be found again. And it's full of creatures that eat each other. Yes, we have oceans, Dr. Lee said. People swim in them, fish in them, sailboats on them. We get food from the ocean? You go into the water on purpose? The alien doctor was shaking now. And you eat things that come from that deadly place? Dr. Lee nodded. Fish and seaweed are very healthy foods. All the aliens stepped back when they heard this. You eat things that have lived in the poisonous water, Velton said slowly. Things that have spent their lives fighting to survive in. Acid and salt, well, ocean water is salty, Dr. Lee agreed. But it's not acid. Salt is used to preserve dead things on most worlds, the science officer said. You're telling us you eat creatures that live their whole lives in preserving chemicals. The meeting continued for hours. Every time Dr. Lee explained something normal about Earth, the aliens became more worried about humans. When he mentioned that people lived in places with earthquakes, volcanoes, and hurricanes, the aliens nearly fainted. We have to save these people, Captain Zithara whispered to Commander Velton. They have been living in hell for so long that they think it's normal. How many humans live on this world? Velton asked Dr. Lee. About 8 billion people, Dr. Lee answered. The alien commander sat down heavily in his chair. 8 billion. We don't have ships big enough to rescue that many people at once. This will take years. But we don't need to be rescued, Dr. Lee said again. We like Earth. It's a good place to live. Velton looked at Dr. Lee with his big, sad eyes. Of course you think that. You have never known anything else. But trust us, there are worlds out there where you won't have to fight for your life every single day. We don't fight for our lives every day, Dr. Lee tried to explain. Yes, you do, the alien doctor said gently. You just don't realize it because you have been doing it since you were born. When the meeting ended, Dr. Lee felt very confused. The aliens seemed nice and they really wanted to help humans, but they thought Earth was a terrible, dangerous place when it was actually quite pleasant. That night, Dr. Lee called his wife and told her about the meeting. They think our air is poison? She laughed. They think rain is dangerous? What kind of planets do they come from? I think they come from worlds where nothing ever changes, Dr. Lee said. No weather, no seasons, no storms. Everything stays exactly the same all the time. That sounds boring, his wife said. Dr. Lee agreed. I think they're trying to be kind, but they don't understand that we actually enjoy our world the way it is. Meanwhile, on the alien ship, Commander Velton was sending a report to the Galactic Council. The situation is worse than we thought, he wrote. The humans have been traumatized so badly by their deathworld that they believe suffering is normal. They have no idea that life can be safe and peaceful. We need more ships and medical supplies. This rescue mission will be the biggest challenge in galactic history. Bioresearcher Kevlon was the best scientist on Commander Velton's ship. He had studied life from hundreds of different worlds, but he had never seen anything like humans before. His job was to understand how human bodies work so the aliens could help them better. Dr. Choi Hyejin was a medical researcher from Seoul who had been chosen to work with the aliens. She was excited to share information about human biology and learn about alien medicine. She did not know that everything she told them would make them more worried about humans. The meeting took place in a special room on the alien ship. Dr. Choi wore a protective suit, and the aliens wore their suits too. Between them was a table, with medical equipment from both species. Dr. Choi, thank you for coming, Kevlon said through his translator. We want to understand how humans have survived on such a dangerous world. Can you tell us about human bodies? Dr. Choi smiled and opened her medical bag. Of course. I brought some basic information about how we work. She showed him pictures of human skeletons, muscles, and organs. Kevlin looked at everything very carefully, making notes on his computer. Your bones are very thick and strong, he said. Much stronger than most species need. Why is that? Well, we need strong bones to support our body weight and protect us when we fall or get hurt. Dr. Choi explained. Kevlin's eyes grew wide. You fall often? And get hurt often? Sometimes, Dr. Choi said. Children fall when they're learning to walk. People sometimes fall when they're running or playing sports. It's normal. Normal? Kevlon wrote quickly on his computer. On most worlds, falling means serious injury or death. Your bones must be designed for constant combat. Dr. Choi looked confused. Not combat, just everyday life. Tell me about human skin, Kevlin said, pointing to a picture. Human skin protects us from germs and helps control our body temperature, Dr. Choi said. It can heal itself when it's cut or damaged. It heals itself? Kevlin could not believe what he was hearing. How long does that take? Small cuts heal in a few days. Bigger injuries might take weeks or months depending on how bad they are. Kevlin sat back in his chair. Most species in the galaxy cannot heal from injuries without medical machines. If we get cut, we need surgery immediately or we die. You're telling me humans can fix themselves? Yes, our bodies are very good at healing, Dr. Choi said proudly. This is incredible, Kevlin whispered. Your species has been forced to develop automatic repair systems just to survive on your death world. Dr. Choi tried to explain that Earth wasn't a death world, but Kevlin was too excited about his discovery to listen. What about food? He asked. What do humans eat? Dr. Choi pulled out pictures of different human foods. We eat many things. Fruits, vegetables, meat, fish, grains. We cook most of our food before eating it. You use fire to change your food before eating it? Yes, cooking makes food taste better and kills harmful bacteria. Kevlin was typing very fast now. So your Food is naturally full of deadly bacteria, and you have to burn it with fire to make it safe enough to eat. Well, when you put it that way, it sounds scary, Dr. Choi said. But cooking is normal for us. Most humans enjoy cooking. You enjoy preparing food that could kill you if you don't prepare it correctly? Dr. Choi nodded. I suppose so. What happens if humans don't eat for a while? Kevlin asked. We get hungry, Dr. Choi said. If someone doesn't eat for a few days, they get weak. But humans can survive without food for several weeks if they have water. Kevlin dropped his computer. Several weeks without food? Yes, though. It's not healthy and people would be very sick by the end. Most galactic species die if they don't eat for 2 days, Kevlin said quietly. You're telling me humans can survive 30 times longer than that. Some people have survived even. Longer, Dr. Choi said. There are records of people surviving more than a month without food. Kevlin looked at Dr. Choi like she was the most amazing and terrifying thing he had ever seen. What about water? He asked. Humans can survive about 3 days without water. Maybe a week in cool weather. 3 days, Kevlin repeated. Most species die in 6 hours without water. Dr. Choi was starting to understand that humans were very different from other galactic species. How long can your people survive without food and water? My species can survive about 8 hours without water and 1 day without food, Kevlin said. We have to eat and drink many times each day or we get very sick. That must be difficult, Dr. Choi said. We thought it was normal until now, Kevlin replied. Tell me about human exercise. I have heard that humans do something called running. Dr. Choi laughed. Yes, many humans run for fun or to stay healthy. Some people run in races. For fun? Kevlin asked. Running is what you do when something is chasing you and trying to kill you. Sometimes people run because they enjoy it. It makes them feel good. How long can humans run? It depends on the person, Dr. Choi said. Some people can run for hours. Marathon races are about 42 kilometers long, and thousands of people do them for fun. Kevlin stared at her. 42 kilometers without stopping? Yes, and some people run even farther. There are races that are 100 kilometers or more. That's impossible, Kevlin said. No species can run that far. You would die from exhaustion. Humans have very good endurance, Dr. Choi explained. We can walk or run for very long distances. It's one of our best abilities. Kevlin was quiet for a long time, thinking about everything Dr. Choi had told him. Dr. Choi, he said finally, I need to ask you something important. Are you describing normal humans, or are you talking about your military soldiers? Dr. Choi looked surprised. Normal humans. Why? Because everything you have told me sounds like a description of the perfect warrior species. Strong bones that can survive falls and impacts. Skin that heals itself from wounds. The ability to survive? For weeks without food? The ability to run incredible distances. Bodies that can eat dangerous food and survive in poisonous air. But we're not warriors, Dr. Choi said. Most humans are peaceful. We have jobs like teachers, doctors, farmers, artists. You're farmers. Can run 42 kilometers and survive for weeks without food? Well, if they had to, probably yes. Kevlin stood up and walked around the room. Dr. Choi, I have studied biology my entire life. What you are describing should not be possible. No species can have all of these abilities unless they were designed for warfare or forced to develop them by living in the most dangerous conditions in the galaxy. Maybe Earth is more dangerous than we realize, Dr. Choi said quietly. More dangerous? Kevlin laughed, but it was not a happy laugh. Dr. Choi, based on what you have told me, Earth is not just dangerous. Earth is impossible. Nothing should be able to live there, and yet somehow humans have not just survived. You have thrived. He sat back down and looked at Dr. Choi with new respect and fear. I need to send a report to the Galactic Council, he said. They need to know that we have discovered a species that is either the result of terrible genetic experiments or has evolved under conditions so harsh that they have become living weapons. Dr. Choi felt worried. We're not weapons. We're just people trying to live our lives. I believe you think that, Kevlin said gently. But Dr. Choi, if what you have told me is true about all humans, then your species is the most dangerous and powerful form of life the galaxy has ever seen. And the scariest part is that you don't even know it. The cultural exchange program seemed like a good idea to everyone. Yoon Hae-won, a university student from Busan, was chosen to visit the alien ship and learn about life in the galaxy. At the same time, alien anthropologist Murdane would visit Seoul to study human culture. Both sides thought this would help them understand each other better. Yoon Hae-won was excited as she put on her protective suit and walked onto the alien ship. She had always dreamed of seeing other worlds, and now she was the first human to live with aliens. The ship was beautiful inside, with soft lights and smooth walls that seemed to glow. "Welcome, Hae-won," said Commander Velton. "We are honored to have you here. Please be very careful and tell us immediately if you feel sick or hurt." "Thank you," Hae-won said. "I'm excited to be here. This ship is amazing." The aliens had prepared a special room for her with its own air supply and Earth-like conditions. They were very worried about keeping her safe. On Earth, Murdane was getting his first look at Seoul. He wore a thick protective suit and walked very slowly, like he expected something to attack him at any moment. Dr. Lee Min-ho was showing him around the city. "This is our downtown area," Dr. Lee said, pointing to the tall buildings and busy streets. Murdane looked up at the buildings with fear. "They are so tall. What happens when they fall down during your earthquakes?" "We build them to be safe during earthquakes," Dr. Lee explained. "They're designed to move with the ground instead of breaking." "You build your homes expecting the ground to shake and try to destroy them?" "Well, yes. Earthquakes happen sometimes, so we prepare for them." Murdane made notes on his computer. He was already seeing that humans planned for disasters like they were normal parts of life. Back on the alien ship, Hae-won was talking to a group of young aliens about Earth culture. She wanted to help them understand that humans were friendly and peaceful. "What do humans do for fun?" asked one alien. "Oh, many things," Hae-won said happily. "We watch movies, play sports, listen to music, read books." "What kind of movies do you like?" Hae-won thought about her favorite films. "I like action movies, scary movies, comedies. Last week I watched a really good horror movie about monsters." The aliens looked at each other with worry. "You watch movies about monsters for fun?" asked another alien. "Yes, horror movies are exciting. They make your heart beat fast. You enjoy being scared?" "Well, it's not real scary. It's fun scary. Like when you ride a roller coaster." "What is a roller coaster?" Hae-won pulled out her phone and showed them pictures and videos of roller coasters. The aliens watched people screaming as they flew through the air at high speeds, went upside down, and dropped from great heights. "People do this for fun?" One alien whispered, "Yes, it's really exciting. I love roller coasters." Several aliens had to sit down. One of them made soft crying sounds. "Hae-won," said the alien who seemed to be their leader. "Are you saying that humans enjoy activities that make them think they are going to die?" "I never thought of it that way," Hae-won said. "But I guess roller coasters do make you feel like you're in danger, even though you're actually safe, and you pay money to do this?" "Yes, amusement parks are very popular." The aliens were quiet for a long time. Meanwhile, in Seoul, Murdane was observing humans in their natural environment. Dr. Lee had taken him to a park where he could watch people doing normal activities. "Look, there are people running," Dr. Lee said, pointing to some joggers. Murdane watched the runners with growing alarm. "Why are they running? What is chasing them?" "Nothing is chasing them. They're jogging for exercise." "Exercise?" "Yes, humans. Exercise to stay healthy and strong. Running is good for your heart and muscles." Murdane watched more carefully. The humans were breathing hard and sweating, but they looked happy. Some of them were even smiling. "They are in pain, but they look pleased about it," he said quietly. "Exercise can be hard work, but it feels good when you're done," Dr. Lee explained. "You hurt yourselves on purpose to feel good later?" "Well, it's not really hurting ourselves, Murdane saw something that made him very worried. A group of children were playing on playground equipment, climbing on metal bars, swinging high in the air, and going down tall slides. Dr. Lee, why are those small humans doing dangerous activities? They're playing. That's how children have fun and learn. Learning through danger? They're not really in danger. Playgrounds are designed to be safe. But to Murdane's eyes, the playground looked like a training ground for warriors. The children were learning to climb, balance, fall safely, and overcome fear. They were laughing and enjoying themselves while doing things that would terrify most alien children. Back on the ship, Haewon was talking about human sports. My favorite sport is taekwondo, she said. I've been doing it since I was 7 years old. What is taekwondo? Asked an alien. Haewon stood up and demonstrated some basic moves. Kicks, punches, and blocks. The aliens all moved back away from her. You fight other humans for fun? One of them asked in a shaky voice. It's not really fighting. It's a martial art. We learn self-defense and it's good exercise. We're very careful not to hurt each other. But you are learning to hurt others? We're learning to protect ourselves if we need to. But mostly it's about discipline and fitness. All humans learn these fighting skills? Many do. There are lots of different martial arts. Some people learn boxing, some learn judo, some learn karate. One alien left the room quickly. Another one was making those soft crying sounds again. Hey, one, said the alien leader carefully. Are you a soldier? No, I'm a university student. I study literature. And you learned combat skills as a child? Yes, but so do lots of people. It's normal. The alien leader was typing very fast on his computer. In Seoul, Murdane was having lunch with Dr. Lee at a Korean restaurant. The waiter brought them several dishes, including kimchi, bulgogi, and hot soup. This smells very strong, Murdane said, looking at the kimchi. Try some, Dr. Lee said. Kimchi is very healthy. Murdane used his suit's analysis system to check the food. Immediately, alarms started going off. Dr. Lee, this food is full of acids and chemicals that would kill most life forms. That's just fermentation, Dr. Lee said, eating some kimchi. Fermented foods are good for digestion. You eat foods that are partially rotted, fermented, not rotted. There's a difference. But Murdane's computer was showing that kimchi contained levels of acid that his people used to clean metal. He watched Dr. Lee eat it with no problems at all. And this? He asked, pointing to the hot soup. That's very spicy, Dr. Lee said. Maybe too spicy for you, Dr. Lee was right. Murdane's sensors showed that the soup contained capsaicin levels that were off the charts. Dr. Lee, that soup contains chemical compounds that my people use as weapons. Really? It's just gochujang. Korean chili paste. Murdane watched Dr. Lee eat the burning hot soup like it was nothing. Then he saw other humans at nearby tables eating the same kinds of food. Some of them were even eating food that was spicier. Dr. Lee, Murdane said quietly, I think I need to go back to the ship now. When both visitors returned to their homes. That evening they had very different reports to write. One wrote about how kind and gentle the aliens were, and how they seemed worried about everything. Murdane wrote, humans are not what we thought. They train for combat from childhood. They eat chemical weapons for pleasure. They hurt themselves for fun and call it exercise. They enjoy being scared and pretend to be in danger for entertainment. I believe we have discovered a warrior species that has forgotten it is a warrior species. Recommend extreme caution. Chef Lim Yoo-jin was one of the best cooks in Seoul. She had worked in restaurants all her life and was famous for making delicious Korean food. When the government asked her to prepare a meal for the alien visitors, she was honored and excited. She wanted to show them how wonderful human food could be. I'll make something gentle, she told her assistant. Nothing too spicy or strange. We want them to like human food. Yoo-jin planned a simple menu that she thought anyone would enjoy. She would make kimchi, but not the very spicy kind. She would prepare bulgogi with tender beef and sweet sauce. For side dishes, she would make some rice, pickled vegetables, and a mild soup. Commander Velton was nervous about trying human food. His medical team had tested some Earth foods and found them full of dangerous chemicals. But he wanted to show respect for human culture, so he agreed to try a small amount. "We will have medical equipment ready," the ship's doctor told him. "If you feel sick, we can help you immediately." "I understand," Velton said. "These poor humans eat this food every day just to survive. I should be brave enough to try it once." The dinner took place in a special room on the alien ship. Yujin came aboard wearing a protective suit, carrying containers of food she had prepared. She was excited to share Korean culture with beings from another world. "Welcome to our ship," Velton said politely. "We are grateful that you want to share your food with us." "Thank you for inviting me," Yujin replied. "I brought some of my favorite dishes." "I hope you enjoy them." She began setting out the food on the table. The aliens watched nervously as she opened each container. Their sensors immediately started making warning sounds. "Is something wrong?" Yujin asked, noticing the beeping noises. "Our equipment is detecting high levels of acids and other chemicals," the alien doctor said. "This is normal for your food." "Yes. This is just regular Korean food," Yujin said. "Nothing unusual." She showed them the kimchi first. "This is kimchi. It's made from cabbage, garlic, ginger, and chili peppers. It's fermented, so it has a sour taste." The alien sensors went crazy when she opened the kimchi container. "The acid levels are extremely high," whispered the science officer. "How do humans eat something so corrosive?" "It's actually very healthy," Yujin said. "The fermentation process creates good bacteria that help with digestion." "Bacteria?" The alien doctor stepped back. "You put living bacteria in your food on purpose?" "Yes, fermented foods are full of helpful bacteria. They're very good for you." The aliens looked at each other with fear. On their worlds, bacteria in food meant the food was dangerous and would make you sick. Yujin opened the next container. "This is bulgogi. It's beef cooked in a sweet and salty sauce." The sensors started beeping again. "What makes it sweet?" asked Velton. "Sugar and some fruit juice," Yujin said. "And the salty taste comes from soy sauce. How much salt?" asked the doctor. "Oh, just normal amounts. Maybe a few tablespoons of soy sauce for this much meat?" The aliens were shocked. A few tablespoons of salt was enough to kill most of them, but this human woman was talking about it like it was nothing. "And this is rice," Yujin continued, opening another container. "It's very mild and goes well with everything." The rice looked safe to the aliens until their sensors detected that it had been cooked in salted water. "Even your safest food contains deadly amounts of salt," the science officer said quietly. Yujin opened the soup container last. "This is doenjang jjigae. It's soybean paste soup with vegetables." The smell that came from the soup made several aliens feel sick immediately. "What is soybean paste?" Velton asked, though he was afraid to hear the answer. "It's made from soybeans that are fermented for months or even years," Yujin explained. "The longer it ferments, the deeper the flavor becomes." "You eat things that have been rotting for years?" The alien doctor could not believe what he was hearing. "Not rotting, fermenting. It's completely different." But to the aliens, fermentation and rotting seemed like the same thing. They watched in horror as Yujin served herself some of each dish and began eating happily. "Would you like to try some?" she asked Commander Velton. Velton looked at his medical team. They all looked very worried, but they nodded. They had prepared medicines and equipment to help him if the food hurt him. "I will try a very small amount," Velton said bravely. Yujin put a tiny piece of bulgogi on a small plate for him. Velton took off his helmet carefully and picked up the meat with special tools. "Be careful," Yujin said. "It might be a little salty for you." Velton put the small piece of meat in his mouth and chewed it slowly. At first he thought it might be okay. Then the salt and spices hit him. His eyes began watering. His mouth felt like it was burning. He started coughing and could not stop. "Medical emergency," shouted the doctor. "Get the antidotes." The medical team rushed to help Velton. They gave him medicines to neutralize the salt and chemicals. They washed out his mouth with special fluids. It took 10 minutes before he could breathe normally again. "I'm so sorry," Eugene cried. "I didn't know it would hurt you." "It's not your fault," Velton said weakly. "You eat this food every day. Your body must be incredibly strong to handle such powerful chemicals." "But it's just regular food," Eugene said. "Korean people eat much spicier things than this." The aliens all stepped back when they heard this. "Spicier?" asked the doctor. "You mean there are foods that are even more dangerous than what you brought us?" "Well, I brought very mild food because I thought you might not be used to strong flavors." This was mild. The science officer was typing frantically on his computer. "Yes, this is the kind of food I would serve to children." Several aliens had to sit down when they heard this. "You give these chemical weapons to your young?" asked Velton. "They're not weapons, they're just food. Children love bulgogi." Eugene was starting to understand that the aliens were very different from humans. She tried to explain that Korean food was healthy and delicious, but the aliens could only see it as proof that humans were forced to eat dangerous things to survive on their terrible world. "In my family," Eugene said, trying to help them understand, "my grandmother makes kimchi that is much spicier than this. And my uncle grows ghost peppers in his garden." "Those are really hot? Ghost peppers?" The alien doctor's voice was very quiet. "Yes, they're some of the hottest peppers in the world. We use them to make special hot sauce." "You name them after ghosts because they kill people?" "No, that's just what they're called. They're very spicy, but people don't die from eating them." "How? Spicy?" asked the science officer. Jin thought about it. "Maybe 100 times spicier than what I brought you today." 3 aliens fainted when they heard this. "Commander," the doctor said urgently, "we need to send a priority message to the Galactic Council. These humans are eating things that would kill most species instantly. And they're giving these chemical weapons to their children as normal food." "But they're not weapons," Eugene said again. "I eat this food because I like it. It tastes good." "You have been conditioned to enjoy pain," Velton said sadly. "Your death world has forced you to eat poison just to survive, and you have learned to think that pain means flavor." Eugene did not know what to say. She had come to share her culture and make friends with the aliens. Instead, she had accidentally convinced them that humans were even more dangerous than they already thought. "I should go," she said quietly. "Yes. Please be safe," Velton said. "And thank you for your bravery in showing us your survival food. We understand now how strong humans must be to live on Earth." As Eugene left the ship, she felt sad and confused. Her grandmother's kimchi was not a weapon, it was made with love. Her uncle's peppers were not poison, they were grown with care. But she was starting to understand that what seemed normal to humans was impossible to everyone else in the galaxy. The aliens watched her go, more convinced than ever that humans were the toughest, most dangerous species they had ever met. General Nam Ki-won had been a soldier for 30 years. He was proud of the Korean military and wanted to show the alien visitors that humans were capable defenders of their world. When the government asked him to organize a demonstration of human military abilities, he was happy to help. "We'll show them some basic training," he told his staff. "Nothing too advanced. Just regular soldier activities so they understand how we protect ourselves." The demonstration was planned for a field outside Seoul. The aliens would watch from a safe distance while Korean soldiers showed them standard military exercises. General Nam chose his most professional soldiers and told them to be on their best behavior. Commander Velton arrived with his science team and several other aliens. They all wore their protective suits and brought recording equipment to document human military capabilities. "Thank you for agreeing to show us how humans defend themselves," Velton said to General Nam. "We want to understand how you have survived so long on this dangerous world." "We're happy to show you," General Nam replied. "Our soldiers are well trained and disciplined." The first demonstration was basic physical training. 20 soldiers ran in formation, did push-ups, sit-ups, and jumping jacks. To General Nam, this was simple morning exercise that any soldier could do. The aliens watched in growing horror. "They're all moving together," whispered the alien science officer. like a single fighting unit. Look how fast they run, added another alien, and they're not even breathing hard. Those push-ups, said the ship's doctor. They're lifting their entire body weight with just their arms over and over again. Commander Velton was taking notes. How long do they train like this each day? This is just warm-up, General Nam said. About 30 minutes every morning. 30 minutes of combat conditioning every single day? It's not combat conditioning, it's just basic fitness. But the aliens saw it differently. To them, this looked like intense warrior training that would kill most species. The next demonstration was weapons training. Soldiers practiced shooting at targets with rifles and pistols. They moved quickly and accurately, hitting targets that were hundreds of meters away. Are those projectile weapons? Asked Velton. Yes, standard military rifles and sidearms, General Nam said. The projectiles move so fast we can barely see them, the science officer said, checking his instruments. And the soldiers are hitting tiny targets at impossible distances. These are average soldiers? Yes, this is basic marksmanship that we expect from all our troops. Private Song Jae-ho was one of the soldiers demonstrating rifle skills. He hit 10 targets in a row from 300 meters away. To him, this was normal shooting that any trained soldier could do. To the aliens, it looked like superhuman precision that would be impossible for most species to achieve. How do they handle the noise? Asked the alien doctor. Those weapons are extremely loud. General Nam looked confused. The noise? They wear ear protection, but soldiers get used to gunfire. Get used to sounds that would damage most beings? Hearing permanently? Well, yes. It's part of military training. The aliens were writing frantically in their notebooks. The next part of the demonstration was survival training. Soldiers showed how they could march long distances carrying heavy packs, set up camps in difficult conditions, and find food and water in the wilderness. This soldier is carrying equipment that weighs more than most of our species do, observed the science officer, watching a soldier with a full pack. Standard field gear, General Nam said. About 30 kilograms. 30 kilograms? For how long? They can march 20th or 30th kilometers carrying that much weight. Impossible, whispered one alien to another. No species can carry half its body weight for such distances. Sergeant Lee showed them how soldiers could purify water from rivers and streams using special tablets and filters. You drink water from natural sources? Asked Velton. When necessary, yes. We have ways to make it safe. But natural water is full of bacteria and parasites. That's why we purify it first. To the aliens, the idea of drinking water that came from the ground or from rivers was terrifying. On their worlds, all water was carefully processed in factories before anyone could safely drink it. The survival demonstration continued with soldiers showing how they could start fires, build shelters, and find edible plants in the forest. They can create fire without machines? Asked the ship's doctor. Yes, it's a basic survival skill. And they eat plants they find growing wild? After proper identification, yes? The aliens were amazed and frightened. These humans could survive in conditions where most galactic species would die within hours. The final part of the demonstration was combat training. Soldiers practiced hand-to-hand fighting techniques, showing how they could defend themselves without weapons. General Nam thought this would be the most impressive part for the aliens. Instead, it was the most terrifying. The aliens watched soldiers throw each other to the ground, practice kicks and punches, and demonstrate how to escape from holds and grabs. They're attacking each other, said Velton in shock. It's just training, General Nam explained. They're not really trying to hurt each other, but they're using techniques designed to cause maximum damage. Well, yes, but they're doing it carefully. Private Song demonstrated a throwing technique on his partner, who hit the ground hard but rolled safely and got back up. That soldier was just thrown through the air and landed on solid ground, the science officer said. Why isn't he injured? He knows how to fall safely, General Nam said. All soldiers learn breakfall techniques. You teach them how to be thrown around and not get hurt. It's part of combat training. The aliens were quiet for a long moment. watching soldiers practice fighting techniques that would kill most galactic species. General Nam, Commander Velton said carefully, what you have shown us today, is this training for your elite warriors? General Nam laughed. No, this is basic training that every soldier receives. Our special forces train much harder than this. Several aliens had to sit down when they heard this. Much harder? Asked the ship's doctor. Oh, yes. Special forces training is much more intense. These soldiers are just regular infantry. And how many humans receive this level of training? We have about 600,000 active military personnel, General Nam said proudly, plus several million reserves who have completed military service. The aliens looked at each other with fear. Several million humans have combat training? Velton asked quietly. Yes, military service is mandatory for young men in Korea. Most adult males have at least basic military training. Most adult males in your entire population are trained warriors? General Nam was starting to understand that he might have said something wrong. It's just basic military service, he said. Most countries have armies to protect themselves. But the aliens were thinking about millions of humans who could run for hours, carry heavy weights, survive in wilderness conditions, and fight with deadly efficiency. General, said Private Song, walking over to join the conversation, should I show them the advanced combat techniques we learned in Special Forces training? No, General Nam said quickly. I think we've shown them enough for today. But it was too late. The aliens had heard that there were even more dangerous human combat techniques that they hadn't seen yet. As the demonstration ended, Commander Velton thanked General Nam politely, but his hands were shaking. Your soldiers are very impressive. He said, Thank you, General Nam replied. They're good people. They just want to protect their families and their country. This made the aliens even more worried. These incredibly dangerous beings also had strong emotional attachments that they would fight to defend. That night, Commander Velton sent an urgent message to the Galactic Council. Human military capabilities exceed all previous estimates. What we observed today was described as basic training for regular soldiers. Millions of humans have combat training. They can survive in conditions that would kill most species, carry impossible weights over long distances, and fight with techniques that would be lethal to most galactic life forms. And there are apparently more advanced techniques we were not shown. Recommend immediate reclassification of humans as Class X combat species. The news about humanity spread through the galaxy faster than anyone expected. Within days of Commander Velton's reports reaching the Galactic Council, every major species in known space was talking about the mysterious humans from the death world called Earth on the planet Zephyria. Council member Quintal was reading the reports with growing disbelief. Zephyria was known as one of the most peaceful worlds in the galaxy, with gentle creatures who had never known war or violence. These cannot be real, Quintal said to his assistant. No species could have all these abilities. His assistant, a small blue creature named Pipilon, was looking at pictures from Earth. But sir, we have video recordings. We can see them doing these things. Quintal looked at a video of humans running a marathon. 26 miles without stopping? And they do this for fun? The reports say thousands of humans do it at the same time, Pipilon said. They call it recreation. Recreation, Quintal repeated slowly. They recreate by doing things that would kill us. Meanwhile, on the military world of Kratos General, Vecmar was studying the human combat demonstrations with his war council. Kratos was known throughout the galaxy as the home of the fiercest warriors. Their soldiers were feared everywhere. Show me that part again, General Vecmar said. Pointing at the screen, the video showed Korean soldiers doing their morning exercise routine. Push-ups, sit-ups, running in formation. This is what they call basic training, asked Colonel Vexhar. According to the reports, yes? The human general said this was just warm-up exercises. General Vecmar was quiet for a long time. Finally he spoke. Our best warriors train for years to be able to run 5 miles without stopping. These humans run 26 miles for fun. What should we do, sir? Asked Colonel Vexhar. Send a message to our home government. Tell them to put our entire star system under defensive protocols. Sir, we're going to defend against the humans? No, General Dekmer said quietly. We're going to defend against accidentally making the humans angry. On the research world of Scholaris, scientists were comparing Earth to other planets in their databases. Dr. Nimbeta was the galaxy's leading expert on dangerous worlds. I've studied deathworlds for 40 years, she told her research team. I've seen planets with acid rain, lava seas, and storms that can destroy cities. But I've never seen anything like Earth. Her assistant, young researcher Kolvia, was looking at Earth's weather data. Dr. Nimbeta, look at these temperature ranges. In some places on Earth, the temperature changes by 40 degrees in a single day. That's not possible, Dr. Nimbeta said. No planet can have such extreme variations. And look at this, Kolvia continued. They have something called hurricanes. Storms with winds moving at 200 kilometers per hour. Dr. Nimbeta sat down heavily. 200 kilometers per hour. We classify anything over 50 kilometers per hour as a planetary emergency. There's more. They have earthquakes that can move the ground several meters. They have volcanoes that shoot melted rock into the air. They have floods, droughts, tornadoes, and blizzards. How do the humans survive all of this? Kolvia checked the reports. According to the cultural studies, they have developed something called disaster preparedness. They plan for these terrible events like they're normal parts of life. They expect disasters to happen? Yes, and they have special teams that rescue people when disasters occur. They call them emergency responders, and they run toward danger to help others. Dr. Nimbeta had to rest for a moment. They run toward danger, of course they do. The news was spreading to individual citizens throughout the galaxy, not just governments and scientists. On the peaceful world of Serenity, families were gathering around their communication devices to learn about the humans. Citizen Melander was watching the news with his children when a report about human food came on the screen. Today we learned that humans regularly consume substances that would be classified as industrial solvents on most worlds, the news reporter said. They add these chemicals to their food deliberately and appear to enjoy the burning sensation they cause. Melander's youngest child, little Pimara, looked confused. Daddy, why do the humans hurt themselves when they eat? I don't know, sweetie, Melander said. Maybe they're very brave, or maybe they don't know there's a better way to live. Can we help them? I think a lot of people want to help them, Melander said, but nobody knows how. On the merchant world of Tradester, business leaders were having emergency meetings. We cannot trade with them, said Merchant Captain Zuralin. Everything they produce would be deadly to other species. But think of what we could learn from them, argued Trader Bixnall. If they can survive on such a terrible world, maybe they have technologies that could help the rest of us. Or maybe, said another merchant quietly, we should stay as far away from them as possible. The most worried species in the galaxy were the ones that had always considered themselves tough. The Stormbringers of Tempest Prime were known for living on a world with constant lightning and high winds. But when they compared their world to Earth, they realized that Earth's storms were much worse. Their hurricanes are stronger than our strongest tempests, reported Storm Chief Gralton. And they happen regularly, not just once every few years like ours. The Rock Eaters of Granite 7 had always been proud of living on a world with harsh, rocky terrain, but Earth had mountains that were much taller and more dangerous than anything on Granite 7. Their Mount Everest is so tall that the air becomes too thin to breathe, reported Chief Geologist Stanmer. And humans climb it anyway, for fun. Even the galaxy's most notorious prison planet, Hellscape 9, was being compared to Earth. Warden Grimdax was reading the reports with disbelief. Sir, said his assistant, according to these studies, the conditions on Earth are worse than the conditions here. Warden Grimdax looked around at Hellscape 9. It was designed to be the most unpleasant place in the galaxy. The temperature was always too hot, the air was always too thick, and the gravity was uncomfortably heavy. Worse than here? Earth has more extreme temperatures, more dangerous weather, and the humans breathe corrosive gas instead of safe air. And they live there by choice? Yes, sir. They seem to like it. Warden Grimdax made a decision. Send a message to the Galactic Council. Tell them we want to move our prison to a nicer planet. If Hellscape 9 is more comfortable than where regular humans live, then we're not being tough enough on our criminals. As the days passed, more and more reports came in from the human world. Each new piece of information made the situation seem more incredible. Humans could heal from injuries that would be fatal to other species. They could survive weeks without food and days without water. They ate foods full of bacteria and chemicals. They exercised by doing things that would torture most species. They entertained themselves with activities designed to simulate mortal danger, and perhaps most terrifying of all, they did all of this while being genuinely kind and friendly. The humans seem to be very nice people, Commander Velton reported to the Galactic Council. They want to share their culture with us. They offer us gifts and friendship. They appear to have no idea how dangerous they are. This was the final piece of information that made the Galactic Council's decision easy. If the humans are powerful, enough to survive impossible conditions, and if they are also kind and peaceful, then we must protect them, announced Council Leader Supreme Arathon. But more importantly, we must protect the galaxy from accidentally provoking them. The official declaration went out to every world in galactic civilization. Earth and its human inhabitants are hereby classified as protected species on a Class X death world. No military actions may be taken near the Earth system. No species may approach Earth without special permission. All contact with humans must be conducted with extreme diplomatic care. Any actions that might be interpreted as hostile toward humans are strictly forbidden. The galaxy had not banned contact with humans because they were afraid of humans. They had banned contact because they were afraid of making humans afraid of them. 6 months had passed since first contact, and the galaxy had completely changed how it treated humanity. What started as a rescue mission had become something nobody expected. Earth was now the most respected and feared world in known space, and humans had no idea why Dr. Yang Sumin had been chosen as Earth's first ambassador to the Galactic Council. She was a diplomat who had worked with the United Nations for many years, and she was excited about representing humanity in the galaxy. She did not understand why the aliens treated her like she was made of explosives. "Ambassador Yang, please be very careful walking down the hallway," said her alien escort, a nervous creature named Diplomatic Aide Flixton. "The floor might be too hard for your feet." "The floor is fine," Dr. Yang said politely. "I've walked on harder surfaces than this." Flixton made worried notes on his tablet. Another example of human toughness. Their ambassador could walk on surfaces that would hurt most species. The meeting room at the Galactic Council was the largest Dr. Yang had ever seen. Representatives from hundreds of worlds sat in rows that went up to the ceiling. But when she walked in, the entire room became completely quiet. "Honored Ambassador Yang," said Council Leader Supreme Arathon, speaking very carefully, "we welcome you to our humble council. Please sit wherever you are most comfortable. We do not want you to feel any discomfort." Dr. Yang sat in the special chair they had prepared for her. It was made from the softest materials in the galaxy and had its own air supply in case Earth's atmosphere was somehow better than what they could provide. "Thank you for inviting me," Dr. Yang said. "I'm excited to learn about the galaxy and see how Earth can be a good neighbor to everyone." The council members looked at each other nervously when she said neighbor. They had spent months debating whether it was safe to be neighbors with humans. "Ambassador Yang," said Representative Quintal from Zephyria, "we want you to know that the galaxy has great respect for humanity. We understand that your people have survived incredible hardships." "Hardships?" Dr. Yang asked. "What hardships?" The council members were quiet for a moment. They had prepared for this question. "We know that living on your world requires great strength and courage," explained Representative Dr. Nimbeta from Scholaris. "We admire how your species has adapted to such challenging conditions." "Earth isn't that challenging," Dr. Young said. It's actually quite beautiful. We have mountains, oceans, forests, and cities. Most humans enjoy living there. Enjoy, repeated General Deckmore from Krathos quietly. Of course they do. They don't know anything else. Dr. Yang was getting confused. Is there something wrong with Earth that I should know about? Oh no, said Council Leader Supreme Arathon quickly. There's nothing wrong with Earth. Earth is very impressive. Your people are very impressive. We would like to offer humanity full membership in the Galactic Federation, announced Representative Bixnall from Trade Esther. With all the benefits and protections that come with membership. Dr. Yang was surprised. That's wonderful, but I thought new species usually had to prove themselves first. Your species has already proven itself, said Dr. Nimbeta. Beyond any doubt. We would also like to offer protection services for Earth, added General Deckmore. Our fleets will patrol your star system to make sure no one bothers you. Protection? From what? Dr. Yang asked. The aliens looked at each other again. How could they explain that they wanted to protect the galaxy from accidentally making humans angry? Just general protection, General Deckmore said carefully. To make sure you can live in peace. That's very kind, Dr. Yang said. But humans can take care of ourselves. We've been doing it for thousands of years. Several council members had to fan themselves when she said this. Thousands of years of surviving on a death world. It was amazing that humanity had lasted so long. We also want to establish trade relationships, said Representative Zorelin from Trade Esther. We have many things we would like to offer Earth. What would you like in return? Dr. Yang asked. The room became very quiet again. The truth was that they were afraid to ask humans for anything. What if humans got upset? What if they misunderstood and thought the aliens were being aggressive? We don't need anything in return, Zorelin said finally. We just want to be friends. Dr. Yang thought this was strange, but she was happy that the aliens wanted to be friendly. Is there anything special we should know about dealing with humans? Asked Diplomatic Aide Flixton. Any customs or behaviors we should be careful about? Not really, Dr. Yang said. Humans are pretty easy to get along with. We like honesty, respect, and friendship. We don't like being threatened or attacked, but I assume that's true for most species. The entire council wrote down notes when she mentioned not liking being threatened or attacked. This was important information. What makes humans happy? Asked Representative Quintal. Dr. Yang thought about it. Family, friends, good food, interesting work, beautiful places to visit. The same things that probably make everyone happy. And what makes humans angry? Dr. Yang was surprised by the question. Why do you ask? Just so we can avoid making you angry, Quintal said quickly. We want to be good friends. While humans don't like bullies or people who hurt others, we get upset when someone tries to harm our families or our friends. We don't like liars or cheaters, the council members were writing frantically. Don't hurt human families. Don't lie to humans. Don't cheat humans. This was clearly very important information for staying safe. Meanwhile, back on Earth, life was continuing normally. Most humans had no idea that they were now considered the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Farmer Kong Hyun-woo was working in his fields outside Seoul. It was a cold morning in late autumn, and frost covered the ground. He was wearing just a light jacket as he harvested the last of his winter vegetables. He had no idea that 3 different alien observation teams were watching him from orbit, amazed that he could work outside in temperatures that would kill most galactic species. They were documenting his incredible ability to function in freezing conditions as more evidence of human toughness. Look at him, whispered Observer Captain Ilonith to his team. The temperature is below freezing and he's working with his bare hands. How is he not dead? Asked Science Officer Telmar. Humans must generate their own heat somehow, Yolonoth said. It's the only explanation. Kang Hyun-woo picked up a heavy crate of vegetables and carried it toward his truck. To him, it was just another day of farm work. To the aliens watching, he had just lifted weight that would require mechanical assistance for most species. Did you see that? Telmar gasped. He lifted that container like it weighed nothing. Add it to the report, Yelenoth said. More evidence that humans have incredible physical strength. Kang Hyun-woo loaded his truck and drove toward the city to sell his vegetables. He was thinking about what to have for lunch and whether it might rain later. He was not thinking about being a terrifying example of human capabilities. Back at the Galactic Council, Dr. Yang was finishing her first official meeting. Is there anything else Earth needs? Asked Council Leader Supreme Arathan. I don't think so, Dr. Yang said. We're pretty self-sufficient, but we'd love to learn about your technologies and cultures.